happening? What's going on? This is your hostess with the mostest, Lady D. I'm with you in the afternoon with some grown folk talk and discussion. I like to call it lay it on the table talk, okay? But man, first off, how y'all doing? It's been an overcast, crazy day with the weather, but at least I don't have all that sun beaming down in here and I can just chat with you. And one of the things that struck me today that I wanted to talk about, one of the things, because I get down with bouncing all around and this and that. First off, let me just say, for those of you who don't know, I'm author Donna Smith. So I would like for you, when you get a chance, to check out my new book, Seduction of the Hidden Diva. It's available on Amazon and everywhere. Do Google it and get you a copy. You know, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere. Get your copy. It is some wonderful, wonderful, delightful short stories. I think you all will love on a grown folk caliber, but they're fun. They're enticing. As a matter of fact, some of the chapters I should have went a little longer with because it was getting good. It was getting good, and I cut it, but I'm gonna extend it on the next one. I'm trying to work on the next one now. So anyway, check it out. Check it out. Also, my poetry and music, cdbaby.com. Google that. I'm under Lady D, and I'm under Donna Smith with my music and poetry. So check me out, you guys. Let me know what you think. Tell a friend, all that. And of course, I do my videos for and with you guys every chance I get, talking about grown folk topics. Now, one of the thoughts I had today is letting go. You know, a lot of times it's extremely difficult for one to let go of someone or something that is not good for us. Because in the back of our minds, we're trying to justify and weigh why we think it's good for us to stay in a situation, to stay with someone, or to deal with something. Especially if we have, because, especially with women, because we're nurturers and we want to nurture and take care and love and fight to the end and that type of thing and all that we do, especially in love and family and things of that nature. So a lot of times, a lot of women will take more than they really should before the bounce, before it's saying, I can't take enough. And I must say, um, back in the day, lightweight, I had that issue. I had that issue of hanging in there, holding on, and taking too much before I actually said, okay, bye bye. I'm gone. Can't do this. Don't want to do this. Tired. Gotta go. And once I was at that point of saying, gotta go, I had to go. However, sometimes it just becomes a little too much. You take it for too long, and it can cause scars and situations as far as you moving forward into something else with somebody else. You carry on what they call baggage. Sorry, you guys, I'm making a little noise because I'm still kind of trying to eat my lunch a little bit lightweight. Um, so you take on that garbage and everything to your next situation because you haven't unloaded. And so, holding on too long sometimes could cause a lot of issues that's hard to get rid of or that end up just tearing you down emotionally and oftentimes physically too. I'm gonna eat a little bit of this. Thanks, my sister Nisha. Thank you so much for sharing this lovely. I can't do a whole lot at one time, y'all, but I get a little bit to wet my whistle. So anyway, we end up taking too much like I used to be. And I don't believe that we should just fly off the handle, leave a situation at the first sign of distress, the first sign of issues, we're gone. No, no. If you have loyalty and faithfulness and you truly love one another, work on it. Try to work on it. However, when it gets to the point where it is tearing you down, to the point of day to day existing becomes a struggle in a positive way, where the darkness is consuming and weighing you down to the point that you feel suffocation. You feel as if you're in quicksand. You all know what quicksand is. And quicksand, the more you try to struggle and fight your way out of it, it sucks you in and in and in. Before you know it, you are succumbed into the pits of darkness underneath that. Right? So you can't breathe, and then there's death. So you don't want to allow yourself to be so weighed down for a long period of time in situations that could possibly kill you. And I thank God at this point and stage in my life that I'm to the point where I love me, know what I need, know how I want it. That although I do deal with things before saying I'm done, I'm still not going to allow it to overconsume me, to drain me, and to suck the life out of me before a decision is made that is too bad. I mean, it's too much for me. I got to move on. So some have a struggle with letting go. It could be codependency on one another. It could be the fear of being alone. Who wants to be alone? Who wants to row that boat all over again, start over again, especially when you've invested so much time into someone and loving them and getting all caught up into their situation, their issues, and vice versa. Who wants to go start all over with something else? So sometimes we just kind of stay in the mud. But if it's something that is literally bringing you down instead of helping to build you up, is it really worth it? And I think once you get to a point where you start to self-identify what your needs, wants, and desires are, then you will know. And when you start loving yourself to the degree that you know that you deserve and need more or need better, then you will decide that enough is enough. And you will allow yourself at that point to break free. And when it comes to those strongholds or staying in something that you shouldn't be in and you don't break free, you block your blessings. Because you can't possibly move forward in a positive way when you're so bombarded with all these weights and darkness. I mean, I think we all have been at a point where we sit up and we question, why me? Why am I going through all of this? I'm going through this and then turn around and it's that and it's this and it's that and it's that and that. And it's a cycle. We all go through a season, and there may be a cycle or a time period of just being bombarded with what we call is all bad. And that's when your faith has to get stronger. You have to build up your whole perception and outlook on things and start, especially prayer. I mean, you have got to pray because, a lot of times, most times, we can't do it all ourselves. We need help. We can't do it all ourselves. Sometimes we try to sit and pick our brain with, oh my God, what, and then we end up taking the wrong step and doing the wrong thing. So you have got to ask for that help. You have got to ask for that guidance. But at the same time, it makes you no less, or it makes nothing's wrong with you if you have a dark season of going through things. A lot of times going through certain things build upon stronger character. It brings upon stronger wisdom. It brings upon a stronger testimony that you will definitely be able to give to another or help another that is going through some of the things or similar things that you have went through. So, you get to a point where it's like, well, okay, why? You get to questioning yourself. Why am I dealing with this? Why? And sometimes you'll get something that'll present itself to you, or someone that's there to try to help you, like reaching out a hand, try to help you break free from a certain situation, and then we don't pay attention. We don't pay attention, and we just still continue to find ways, reasons, and rhymes of why we're going to stay in this debilitating situation that is causing us nothing but heavy weights and eventually will suck the life out of us. And so, it gets to a point where, and I think I've talked about this briefly before, where we can't continue to blame another for things that we know we could or should be doing better. Say, for instance, you're in a relationship and you know deep down inside you deserve better. This person's not giving you what you need. They're not loving you in the way that you're loving them. There's a lot of disconnect. There's things happening, blah, blah. You know you deserve better and more. But for whatever reason, you continue to stay in that loop. You continue to stay with that person. And then it gets to the point where, you're throwing all these darts at them. It's you, it's you, it's you. Why you do this? You do this. You did this. They're only doing what you allow them to do. So you're allowing them to do the things that they're doing, and you're still with them. So why are you blaming them? You need to start blaming you. You need to start working on you. You need to take, because, and we've all been there too, where you put so much energy into what the other person is doing or not doing, that we take the outlook and focus off of ourselves, because everything be about what they're not doing, what they need to do, how come they not doing whatever. You get so over consumed in what's happening with them, which we can't change nobody. You cannot change the next person from being who they are and for doing what they do, but you can change you. You can look in that mirror and you can come to the determination that I need to get it together. I need to work on me. I need to get help in finding out why I allow and why, excuse me, I do what I do. Because I can't fix that other person. I can't make them change. I can't make them love me. I can't make them respect me. I can't make them treat me, right. I can't make them stop abusing me verbally, physically, and the silent treatment is also a form of abuse. Okay? I can't correct that in them. So you have to choose your battles and decide what it is that you can fix, that you can work on and make better, instead of putting all that focus and energy on something that you can't. What you can work on and change is self, in building up a better you. Sometimes that takes, number one, take all the time. It takes prayer. Number two, sometimes it takes you having to go and get some professional help, an unbiased third person, or and not necessarily a couple's help, but a personal help, so that the focus can be on just you. I remember some years ago when I first had my encounter with counseling and going to a therapist. That was taboo. I was like, I'm not crazy. I don't need to go see no therapist. I don't. Boy, bye. Boy, bye. So at some point when I was up against the wall and it was just no other way to really get to this person and understand what was up here, why we had such a disconnect, and we were married, I ended up, requesting and setting up us doing the couples counseling. Found a really wonderful woman, African American woman, down to earth woman. I really, really liked her. Went to her quite a few sessions actually as a couple. I saw some breakthrough. I saw some identification of some issues and things that was going on within our union. Um, I became open to want to try different things and one thing I do admire, they don't tell you what you need to do. They have you come together and determine what you both should possibly think about doing differently, and that was a good thing, and that lasted for quite a few sessions, and then finally that person decided they didn't want to go no more. I don't want to go. Just wake up out of the blue. Oh, what's the therapist number? Oh, you want to call? Okay, here. Well, what you gonna call for? Well, I don't want to go no more. They got to digging into your past, your background, and started, shining some light on some things. And I believe they became uncomfortable and decided to back away and not want to go. I was devastated. And then at that point, I didn't know how to handle that. And I knew that without us doing that, it was going to really cause a total separation in our regard. However, I remember reaching out to her to apologize for, us having to break up the couples thing. And I came out and was moved to ask her, led to ask her, did she do one on one sessions as well? Because I felt as though that is what I needed. And to my surprise, she was like, oh, yeah, by no means. Yes, yes. Let's start today. Yes. So I set up my sessions with her, and I remember in the beginning of the sessions, I was constantly still zoning into that person. Well, I just don't know. They just make me feel. And how come and when they did and they do, and it was always leaning towards. And now it's just me, but I'm leaning towards wanting to point the finger at that person. And I had to get to the realization, and she helped me do that. That this is about you now. That person is not in this. That person you can't control. We gonna work on you. And I'm gonna tell you that was one of the best turning points and focus in my life. I made a lot of major decisions um, to get myself in order. And that started from working out to walking to exercising to losing weight, the whole nine. And became so in tune with self that life began to change. And my focus was not about them anymore. It was about me. And as I grew as the woman that I have so wonderfully became, I love myself to the degree that nobody can jiggle this cage into giving me any less than I deserve. I man, I thank him. I thank the Lord for that. I have grown to love me, and I can't fix the next person. I have to just be ready and accept the right one for me, and vice versa. And that's where I'm at. So I say that to say, you have to get to a stage and a play page in your life where, you start self reflecting and working on yourself to the degree that it will make you attract better. It will make you love in a different way because you love yourself. It will make you put your guards and boundaries up as far as not accepting and taking things any kind of way. It will help you to identify when one is trying to use you to be more, I guess, in tune of the red flags that you may see coming up a little bit and then waving vigorously. It will make you more in tune of that. And, then you won't find yourself in situations where you're staying just to stay, you know, and some really misunderstand and misidentify love. Love is not someone that has invested a lot of time but has not given you the respect that you deserve, that has not loved you in the way that you deserve, that doesn't value you in the way that you deserve. A person can say all day long, I love you, but it's the actions. It's the actions. It's no anger behind loving someone. And especially if they're loving you tenderly, there's no words. No, it shouldn't be a mess. It should be wonderful. It should be beautiful. And you learn to identify those things once you learn to identify your self worth and loving yourself, accepting only the best from people because you give the best to people. So it can't be one slighted way. You can't be given 90% and they're given 10%. A friend of mine said it best a few times that both have to give 100%. You both have to be willing to give 100%, not short of 100, not just a hair under 100, 100%. And that is what's needed. And that is what you have to identify your needs, wants, and desires to. You have to know that you deserve nothing less. And staying in a toxic situation that is sucking the life out of you, which I know we've all can write a book on a segment in our lives where our life has been literally almost sucked out of us dealing with the wrong toxic situation for a period of time that was just too long. Too long. A day or two is too long. If you identify toxicity, however you say that word, if you identify that early on and you identify that this is not good for me early on, you better get to stepping. If you identify it later, perhaps it comes out in, I know a lady was telling me she was with this person a couple of years and they were one way when they met. They were just all this and that and loving and calm spirited and cool, and it was the bomb. And then one day they just changed. Their temperament, the way they dealt with her, the disrespect, all this stuff changed. And they didn't know this person, this other person. They didn't know who this person was. And it was something that came out of their past that was a part of them that resurfaced again. Why it resurfaced, I don't know. Did they start back with some things they used to do? Did they have a medical condition that flared back up? I don't know. But a whole nother side of that person came out that they never even knew. And mind you, this person was tucked for 2 years. So, it's hard to back away from something when you've been building and you've invested. But if they are sucking the life out of you, if they mean you no good, if it's toxic, if it's weighing you down, if it's suffocating you, if it's causing you to feel as though you are not breathing well in any way, shape, or form, it's time to do something different. It does not get better. A lot of times it gets worse before it gets better. And before you know it, it's like, wow, I saw that. I should have did something and I didn't. And now I got to deal with a bigger mess. So don't allow yourself to get caught up like that. Life is too short. You deserve the best. You deserve to be with the best. And everyone who proclaims love does not always love you. Anyone who's been with you a long time doesn't mean they love you. There's some people been together 30 years and they can't stand each other. That's just how it is. But for the gain of whatever they was trying to gain, they stayed together. So love you first, grown folks. And that is what I felt moved today to get off my heart. I got to get on back in here. It's my time. And I'm going to holler at you guys tomorrow. I want you to have a great day. I want you to continue to love you. Continue to put your needs, wants, and desires first, and continue to demand respect on every aspect from everybody that you're connected with, from everything that you do. And if you don't get that, you know, and when we talk about um toxic situation, you know, remember that an action warrants a reaction. And a reaction to an action means that you're both responsible because you're both blended into that in a negative way. So sometimes, all times, it takes the bigger person that realizes that this is no good for me to even be getting myself involved with in that way. Not allowing one to take you out of character. Not allowing one to make you do something that you're not proud of, you're embarrassed about, or that you wouldn't normally do. Don't give them that power. No, take your power back. Be grown, y'all. I'll be back at you tomorrow, okay? Think about some things I've said. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. And this is what I do. Have a great day.